مرحبا بكم في مراكش، المغرب. درجة الحرارة الحالية هي 46 درجة مئوية والساعة 10:30.
Welcome to Marrakesh, Morocco. The current temperature is 46 degrees and 10:30 a.m. After a tedious 15-hour flight, we had finally made it to Morocco and I was ready to start my vacation. My family and I gathered our belongings at the small airport's baggage claim and tracked down a tour guide that would be showing us Morocco. As we were leaving the airport, I was so exhausted from the flight that I just needed a quick snack or drink, but it seemed as if all the kiosks in the airport were closed. I asked our tour guide if there was a place we could get some water. He stared at me and replied, "Oh honey, it's Ramadan. You won't find any place to eat or drink until sundown." My family thought he was joking at first, but he further explained that we had arrived smack dab in the middle of the holiday. When my father planned the trip, we weren't expecting any religious holidays, especially a holiday requiring everyone to fast during the day. The only thought that raced through my mind was that I was going to starve and be in misery the whole trip, especially because my favorite part of traveling is being able to taste all the traditional foods. When we arrived at the hotel, we dropped off our bags in our room and went straight back into the tour guide's car for some sightseeing. Even though I was sleep deprived, I dragged myself to the car and tried to put a smile on. The first place we visited was an abandoned village in the middle of a desert. It was around 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was wearing a long-sleeved shirt and pants. Could this day get any worse, I thought to myself. I was so fatigued that I failed to listen to our tour guide making comments about the village. The only sound of life in the village was my stomach rumbling. We were finally heading back to the car, but our day wasn't over. We had one more stop left. After an hour car ride back to the city, we filed out of the car to Koutoubia Mosque. Koutoubia Mosque was a famous mosque in Marrakesh. Walking around the mosque, I saw rows of men praying. We stood in the back watching until the prayer was over. Our tour guide then explained, "Since it is Ramadan, Muslims pray as many times as he or she could. We practice Ramadan to ask for forgiveness for past sins, pray for helping and resisting everyday evils, and try to purify ourselves through self-resistance and good deeds." Even though I did not believe in the Quran, I thought that everyone should have a cleansing once in a while. That night, the sun finally fell from the sky around 8:30 p.m., meaning it was time to feast. We ventured into the main part of Marrakesh looking for any sign of tasty and traditional foods. We settled on a restaurant that peered over the city square. I was starving and ordered 2 dishes, tagine and bastila. Tagine was an oven-cooked chicken and bastila was a meat wrapped in pastry. When the food finally came out, I scarfed it down like I had not eaten in months. After finishing dinner, I couldn't bear the thought of waking up and starving myself again the next day. Throughout the remainder of the 2 weeks, we traveled to different parts of Morocco, learning the cultures of different people we met along the way. I still struggled with the tempting thoughts of food and water throughout the day, but as the trip progressed, I became more self-disciplined. I wanted to keep up with the holiday because the only way to learn a culture is by practicing it with them.